Witherby from Mandy's Papercraft Creations, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in Sydney, Australia. It's great to be here today. I have got another great project for you, and I think that we're going to have a great morning. So let me bring up this live stream on my other devices so that I can see any comments there. So let me just find it over here. Going live, there it is there, and good. All right, and I'll have a look over here on my iPad. I always bring it up on my two devices because often one of them will freeze, and it's usually my computer. So we'll just make sure that we can see everything and everything is looking happy. Great, good. All right, everything is working, so that is awesome. All righty. My apologies for being a couple of minutes late. I just had a slow start to the morning. Didn't have a great sleep last night. So yeah, everything was just took a little bit longer. And then I went to go live and I thought, oh, I forgot to grab a couple of things out. So I thought I better get those. So we are all set up now. We're ready to go. And let's hope I haven't forgotten anything else. But you know, we'll roll with it. We'll roll with it. It'll all be good. All right. So if you have not, you know what I did forget? My catalogue. It's over there. Let me grab it. Scoot on over. I knew there would be something. All good. All right. So if you are jumping on live with me, feel free to chat with me in the comments. Now, I do believe that to be able to chat in the comments, you need to be logged into your Gmail account. That's a YouTube thing. So be sure that you have done that so that you're able to chat with me. But I love chatting with you all, and it makes it so much more fun as well to be crafting together. So feel free to craft along with me or sit back and relax and just enjoy what I have to share with you today. I've got a really lovely winter themed card today. So it is the 1st of June 2023 here in Australia as I'm filming, and it's the first day of our winter today. So it's actually a little bit gloomy today. We had some rain early this morning, early hours this morning, and yeah, I don't know what the temperature is going to be, but it's definitely going to start getting colder. It already has been getting a bit cooler, so yeah. Winter is not my favorite month, I have to say. I don't cope very well with the cold. So, yeah, we'll get through it. We stay warm, blankets, heaters, all those things. Nice warm clothes. Now, let me just tell you that, or share with you, I should say, that we have the beautiful annual catalogue that is current at the moment. And this one goes from May 2023 through to the end of April 2024. I've got that right. So it's full 12 months, and this is just a beautiful catalogue with so many beautiful products in there. So if you don't already have a Stampin' Up demonstrator here in Australia and you would like one of these, let me know. I would love to get one out to you. There is a link in the video description. So you can request a catalogue there as well. So be sure to do that if you don't already have a demonstrator, and I would love to look after you as one of my beautiful VIP customers. So yeah, be sure to do that. Now, if there's anything that I can help you with, feel free to reach out to me. I would love to help you and support you in your creative journey. Now, being the 1st of June, there are lots of fun, exciting things happening in Stampin' Up at the moment. So the two big things are, the first one being that we have a designer series paper sale. So if you love paper, and let's be honest, all of us paper crafters do love paper. If you love pretty paper, then there are some awesome specials on selected designer series paper. So it's 15% off, and I have a flyer here I will show you. So we've got all of these ones and these ones as well. You can go to my online store and check those out. Again, the link is in the description. You can go and check those out and grab a bargain, stock up on your favorites and get 15% off those designer series papers. Now that special is running until the end of June, so 30th of June. However, let me just preempt that by saying I don't know how much stock there is. Stampin' Up hasn't really told us. So just be aware that if any of those do happen to run out, if you wait until the end of the month and any of those happen to go out of stock, they will be coming back in stock. But as to whether or not they would come back in stock in time for the special, I don't know. I'm just saying. So perhaps don't wait until the very end of the special, just so that you don't miss out on those ones, those beautiful paper packs that you love. So yeah, so I've got a couple that I'm going to stock up on too. So yeah, it's a great time to grab those papers while they are on special. Now also too, we have another big special, and it is the starter kit special. So it's starter kit plus. At the moment for the month of June, when you join with Stampin' Up, you can choose additional value of product in your starter kit. So it's only $169 to join. That's the normal price for the starter kit. But instead of our usual $235 worth of product, you get to choose $283 worth of product. So that is $114 worth of product for free in your starter kit, plus free shipping on top of that. So that's an extra, oh gosh, I don't even know what it is now on that amount. It's probably about $13 or $15 or something. So you get that free as well. Stampin' Up will throw in some catalogs and things like that. So you get those for free additionally. And you get to choose the products that you want to put in your starter kit. So it's super awesome. And these papers that are on sale, that are 15% off at the moment, you can put those in your starter kit as well. So the starter kit option is the best value in the catalog. It's the best. Yeah, it's just the best, because not only do you get that starter kit and you get all those freebies, $114 worth of freebies in your starter kit, then you'll get an ongoing 20 to 25% discount. Plus, you will be joining my beautiful team of crafters if you join with me. So my team is called the Papercraft Gems, because I do believe that each person is precious and valued. So we have a beautiful, beautiful stamping community. Beautiful friendships have been formed there. We have a lot of fun together. We do lots of special team-only things. We have our own team Facebook group. We do team events. We've even got our very first team retreat coming up in August, which would be super fun. So that is being planned as we speak, and we do lots and lots of fun things. So I would love to help and support you on your creative journey, and we would love to welcome you into our creative community. So if you would like more information about joining my team, feel free to get in contact with me, or you can join my join link in the description of the video. So if you're here on YouTube, it'll be down below. If you're watching on Facebook later on, all the links will be above the video. So be sure to check all those specials out. But yeah, it is a great time to join during June and get that added value in your starter kit. And the great thing about the starter kit is you can choose what you put in it. And if you find that daunting and overwhelming, let me know, because I would love to help you select products that you'll be able to use and in your crafting, and that are suited and tailored to you for the types of things that you like. So yeah, I'm happy to help you. So let me know. All right, well, let's get on to some crafting. So I'll pop those over there. Now, I'm going to put the camera down onto the desktop, so I like to cover up the camera while I do that, because I've got a few transitions to make and I don't like to make you all dizzy. So be sure to stick around while I just fix this and get this ready. So here we go. I'll cover up the camera. Bear with me for one moment. All right, don't go anywhere. Here we go. All right, still all there? stick with me. Do those all up nice and tight. And we'll do a flip. There we go. And let's zoom in a little bit. There we go. All right, that one can stay there. And, oh, I just need to fix my cable. Hang on one sec. My charging cable. Plug that back in. There we go, because we don't want that in the way while we are filming. Alrighty. Okay, so I shall move my keyboard. We don't need that right now because all the links are already in the description, so you can grab them from there. Oh, lights. I forgot to adjust my lights down onto the desk. Let's do that so that we can have some light on our project. And I'm going to show you what we're going to be creating with today before we get started. And so here's our beautiful catalog. Now, any of these products that you see today, you can get in my online store. You'll find them there in my online store. And to find my online store, you can go to my blog, which is mandyspapercraftcreations.blogspot.com. Click on the shop button at the top. Now, also over there on my blog is my joining link as well. So if you are interested in joining during this amazing special at the moment in June, then you can click on the join link there as well. Okay. And also too on my blog, there is my email, my newsletter email subscription. So you can click on that as well if you would like to subscribe to my weekly newsletter, so I can keep you up to date with all of the latest news. And this is my June 2023 host code. So brand new host code starting today, the 1st of June. So use this one when you're shopping with me. And with orders over $75, I will send you a thank you gift. But of course, every order receives a thank you card, of course, because we're card makers. All right. So this is the beautiful new catalog. And I say new, it did only just come out on the 2nd of May. So it's going to be a month old tomorrow. All right. And what we are playing with today is the Season of Chic stamp set. This is a beautiful stamp set for lots and lots of different seasons. And this is the one I'm featuring this week. So we've got seashells, which are great for like your summer. We've got autumn leaves, which I created with on Monday. If you didn't see my video on Monday, go back and check that out after today's video. I created a beautiful autumn themed card on Monday using the autumn leaves. Today we're going to be playing with the snowflakes and a little bit of snow flurry here. And then we've got the beautiful flower here for spring. Now you might notice there's 2 different stamps that coordinate with each of those. Now that is because it's a 2-step stamp set. So this is sort of the outline of the stamp with the detail. So if you want to color yourself with your own coloring tools, you can do that. But if you would like to make it quick and easy and just stamp your color, you've got these color fill stamps that coordinate. So it makes it super easy. And then you've got some great background detail and distressing sort of look, and yeah, you can use those in different ways. And then you've got gorgeous sentiments for lots of different occasions. So there you go. Now this stamp set does have a die set that coordinates with it. And if we go over to page 163, I can show you the dies. Here they are here at the top of the page on 163. And you can see an up close picture of the dies there. You've got some additional dies in there as well. I'll show you those up close. They are 2 separate products, the stamp set and the dies. They are 2 separate products. So yeah, so just be aware of that. The dies do fit through the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, which is awesome. So if you only have the mini and not the large machine, then you're good to go with that die set. All right, so they are the products that we are using today. Let me pop my catalogue over there. Alrighty, let's have a little look at the stamp set and the dies. Alright, so this is a photopolymer stamp set, and as I mentioned, it is a two-step stamp set. Sorry, it's not a, yeah, it is a photopolymer stamp set. Oh, it's all right. I was using a different stamp set yesterday for another project, and it was a cling. So I'm getting myself all confused. No, this one is definitely photopolymer, as you can see. So there's lots and lots of stamps in this set, which is super awesome. And I love the font in the sentiments and the mixture of the fonts in the sentiments. I really love that. The images on the front here are only shown at 75% so that they could fit all of the images on there because there's so many stamps. There's 17 stamps in that set. And these are the beautiful dies. So let's take them out of the packet. So this is the Chic Dies. You'll see I've got all my little extra pieces in there. I like to keep all of my extra pieces. And these are the dies here. So you can see we've got this really lovely lattice background. We've got some additional leaves, some snowflakes, which we're going to be using today. We've got some flowers, some shells, and some more snowflakes, more leaves, another shell, and then you've got the outlines, more flowers. Then you've got the outlines of each of those stamped images so that they can be die cut as well. Okay. Alrighty, so let's have a look at the card that we're going to be creating today. Now, I am changing this one up a little bit. This is the card we are creating today. So a beautiful wintry scene today because it's the first day of winter here in Australia. Now, this card I created a while ago because this stamp set is carried over from a previous catalogue. And I created this with paper that we had in the last catalogue. So we don't have this paper anymore. So instead, I am using, oh, and I didn't actually pull it out. I'm using the Countryside Inn. Is that what it's called? It's new. I'm still getting my head around all the new names. Let me grab it. Yes, Countryside Inn. I got that correct. Now, I don't have much left of this paper. I don't have a full pack left, but it does come in 12 by 12 inch sheets. And as you can see, I've got lots of bits and pieces because I've been using this paper quite a bit. And I will show you some of the patterns in here. Now, as I said, this isn't a full pack, but these are beautiful blue tones in these papers, and I have shown these before. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The sixth one is the one that we're going to be using today, which I've already cut to size, and it was my last piece of this beautiful paper. So this blue background here, this deep blue background here, we are substituting with this one here. On the other side of this one, we've got that beautiful paper there. Okay, so they are some of the designs, or they are all of the designs, sorry. And then if we flip them over to have a look at the other sides of each of those, let me do a flippity flip. Hang on, here we go. There we go. There's the details on the other side. So we could have substituted this paper for this one, or this one, or this one, but this is the one that I chose for today. Okay, and we're going to be doing some extra embossing and things on this one to give it some of those different coloured flecks in the background. Okay, so that is the beautiful Countryside Inn. I'll pop this piece away because I need to put that with my card kit so I don't forget that that's the piece I'm using. With this piece here, this one actually has, oh, it's up the wrong way. This one has a embossing folder that coordinates with it. So the embossing folder on its own is gorgeous, but the detail in the embossing folder actually coordinates with this paper, which is beautiful. And this paper is from the Countryside Inn suite. There's a whole suite around this paper. There's a stamp set, there's dies, and the paper and the embossing folder. So check that one out in the annual catalogue. That's a really beautiful suite. In fact, I'll just quickly show you where to find that if you are looking for it. Let's have a look in our table of contents, which is on page 3. Countryside Inn. Here's the list of all of the suites here if you're looking for them. Countryside Inn 62 to 63. I'll just quickly show you that so that you can see. So we're combining a few different products today. All right, so here's the whole suite of products. So you've got this really amazing stamp. I don't have this one yet, but it's one big stamp, but it stamps all these different layers. And then the dies which coordinate are individual dies, like individual shape dies. So then you can cut out each one of those layers. Then you can layer them back together or mount them up, use them individually as a frame. You can do all sorts of things with them. So that's super cool. And then you can see the beautiful paper there and the embossing folder as well. So that's a whole suite of products, but we're just using the paper today. But I just wanted to show you where that comes from. Yeah, really, really interesting. We haven't had a stamp like this before. It's the first time. So yeah, really, really lovely. So there you go. All right, but yeah, so I wanted to show you how you can change up. Now this card here, I never demonstrated this one before. I created the card, as I said, a while ago, but I never got around to demonstrating the card. So I had kept it aside to use it down the track, and then the catalogue retired. So then I thought, well, we've still got the stamps and the dies available. I'll just change up the paper. So that's what we're doing today. Alrighty. Now to show you the card that I made on Monday using the same, so this is using the same stamp set and dies. This is the one I made on Monday. So if you didn't see the video for that one, be sure to go back. Oh, hey Cindy, how are you? All the way from Canada. So lovely to have you. Thank you. Yes, it is morning here. It is, what are we now? Only just. It's 11:29 a.m. right now here in Australia. So what time is it there in Canada? It's the evening, but I'm wondering what I'm not quite sure what our time difference is. So there you go. So you can see you can make totally different cards, different looking cards with these products. So I just wanted to show you that one as well to give you some more ideas. But yeah, be sure to go back and watch the video from Monday when I made this one, because that was a really beautiful project to create as well. All right, so here are all of our pieces for our project today. And I do have, sorry, I'll just pull all this out. Trying to get it out there. I've got my measurements here, so I'll pop those to the side. All of the measurements for this will be on my blog tomorrow. So if you wanted the measurements or you miss any of the measurements, don't be too worried, because they will be over on my blog, so you'll be able to grab them from there. All right, so let's have a look what we have here. Let's move that over to the side. We have got a card base of Night of Navy. Now here in Australia we do use A4 cardstock. So this is half of an A4 cardstock sheet. Okay, so that forms your card base. Then we've got a layer of basic white. Okay, now if you are working with letter size cardstock, your layers will be different to mine. Okay, because I'm working in metric. So if you work in imperial measurements, your layers will be different sizes, and I don't have those sizes for you because your card base is a different size. So I work with a different size card base, so my layers wouldn't work on your card. That's why I don't give them. So just use your regular layering. I think what do you use it, an 1/8 of an inch or a 1/4 of an inch for your layers, a 1/4 of an inch smaller, something like that. And then the next layer is a piece of that beautiful designer series paper. And this one, so this one has a 2mm border, and then this next layer also has a 2mm border. Okay, so that our layers look like that. So very simple, very, very simple layout. So in whatever market you are, whether or not you're using imperial measurements or metric measurements, just use your standard layers, okay? And then we're going to decorate on the top with our other pieces. So, okay. All right, so then we've got some vellum, which I have already pre-die cut just to save a bit of time today, because I like to try and make my Thursday videos a little bit quicker if possible. Then we've got another piece of that designer series paper, and this time I'm using a different piece. I've got a striped piece of the designer series paper, and this one measures, this little one measures 6 centimeters by 3 centimeters. And I can give you the inches in that one. I've got my ruler here. It is 2, and I'm not very good with inches. 2 and let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 eighths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 6 eighths, 2 and 6 eighths of an inch. I hope that's right. By 1 and 3/16. I'm not even sure if I'm doing those measurements right. I'm not sure how you, yeah. That's why I don't do imperial measurements, because I'm a metric girl. Anyway, and then I have a strip for the sentiment. And then I have a scrap piece for die cutting the 3 snowflakes. Okay, so this is a great project that you can use your scraps, because you can use a scrap for your sentiment and a scrap for your snowflakes, and they are just in basic white. So they're all the layers that we have, like super easy. In terms of inks, we have got our Versamark ink and our Night of Navy ink. Okay, oh, it's 6:30 p.m. there, Cindy. Oh, well, that works out very well. That's a good time conversion. Oh, you've got Kylie's layers for PDF for the Imperial. Oh, that's awesome, Cindy. Fantastic. Yes, it might make it much easier for you to figure out the layers. Fantastic. Oh, good. That makes me feel a lot better. Oh, very good. And you've got this bundle too. Fantastic. Yay. Very good. That's great. Alrighty. So yeah, so we've got the 2 inks. I've got a sponge dauber as well for my Night of Navy ink for our sentiment layer. And I've got some white embossing powder. We're going to do a little bit of stamping on that background paper and emboss that. And then I've got some embellishments. We actually don't have any ribbon on this one. So there you go. And the snowflakes, we do have some Wink of Stella. So let me grab that out because I nearly forgot that. We've got some Wink of Stella as well. All right, so I'm going to pop the card to the side and we're going to start putting this together. So what we will do is we will pop these pieces to the side. We're going to start with our stamping and die cutting, but all these other pieces, we'll just pop those to the side for the moment. Oh, I'll leave that one out because I'll show you that. All right, so we'll start with our stamping. We'll do our, I've just got a little piece of grid paper here. Hang on, I've got 2 there actually. Let me just get one out. All right, and we will stamp our sentiment first. So let's bring in our stamp set. So I'm going to use You Are Amazing Beyond Measure. So let's take that one out of the pack. That's the one there we want. All right. Now, with your photopolymer stamps, particularly with your sentiment labels, when you're putting them on your block, because the photopolymer is very stretchy, if you just place that down onto a non-stick surface, like a scrap piece of paper or your grid paper, and just let it relax into its natural shape before you adhere it to the block, because otherwise it can bend and twist and do all sorts of crazy things. So then we're going to take our block to the stamp and pick it up that way. Okay, so I've got it face down as you would be stamping with it, and then you're picking it up on the flat surface. So the flat surface is going to stick to your block. Okay. Being that it's a photopolymer stamp, I'm going to use my foam pad, or my Stamp and Pierce mat as we call it, and I'm going to pop that underneath my grid paper. That gives me a little bit of cushioning when I'm stamping with my photopolymer stamps, and you get a nicer stamped image. All right, so we're going to use some Night of Navy, and we're just going to stamp this over towards the left hand side. So just ink up our stamp, so just tap, 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 and I'll stamp that over here to the left side. There we go, beautiful. All right. Oh, and actually, while we've got that out, we'll leave that ink out, but I will clean this stamp straight away. Those deeper colors, they like to try and stain our photopolymer stamps. So it's a good idea to clean your stamp straight away to eliminate too much of that staining. Now, if your stamp does get stained with those deep pigment inks, don't be worried too much. So long as you have given them a clean and cleaned off that surface ink, any staining won't alter how your stamp works. It'll still work perfectly well. It's just that the photopolymer is a little bit porous, so it likes to hold that pigment. Okay, now we're going to trim that really easily with our paper snips. So we're just going to go snip at the end to just give it a little bit of an angle there, a little bit of interest. Then we're going to take our sponge dauber and we're going to ink around the edge. Now, be careful that you don't smudge that blue ink in case your sentiment hasn't yet dried. Just be mindful of that. And as you are handling those edges, they might, that ink might still be wet. So just be careful that you don't smudge that. And the reason I say that is because I'm probably the first person who will do it. So many times I've done it. There we go. So just ink around the edges. And I love this technique because it means that you then don't have to layer this onto another color, because you're adding a border. You're adding a colored border, and it saves on additional cutting. So there we go. All right, so that is all with our Night of Navy ink. So we'll pop that away and pop our dauber away. Let's check I haven't got ink everywhere. All right, so we'll set that aside for the moment while we do our die cutting, and we finish with that. So we'll bring in our die cutting machine. I'm using my mini, whoops. I nearly dropped my trimmer onto the floor then as I did that. I'm using my mini machine. I've got all of my washi tape here ready to go because I reuse it and reuse it. I use this to hold my dies down on my cutting plates. When you get your mini Stamp and Cut and Emboss machine, it comes with all the plates that you need for stamping and embossing. Today we are just cutting, so we're just using our base plate number 1. And then we've got 2 of the clear, whoops, this one's upside down, 2 of the clear plate number 2s. Okay, you can see mine are well used, well loved. I love my mini, I use it all the time. Okay, now I went ahead and I die cut a piece of vellum with the lattice piece. Okay, so this piece here, I already cut a piece of vellum with that. Again, the measurements for all of this will be on my blog tomorrow, so don't worry if you don't have the measurements today. But you can just use a scrap again as well, or just a size that you need that will fit that die, okay? So if you're working in inches, just measure a piece of vellum that will fit that die. So we've die cut that one, that's already done. Now we need some snowflakes, so we're going to use the largest snowflake and the smallest snowflake, which is this one in the center there. Okay, Yeah, there's also this really little tiny one here. I didn't use that one on this project, but there is an additional one there as well if you wanted 3 different sizes. So we're going to be cutting 2 of the large one and 1 of the small ones. So just make sure we line this up so that we can fit those 2 and then our extra one. Okay, so we'll line those up. I will just put a little bit of washi tape on those just so that they stay still. Make sure you have a little bit of a gap in between your dies. If you have them right up against each other, it's going to make it really hard for the machine to cut them out cleanly. So just make sure you've always got a little bit of a gap in between your dies. Okay, we'll run that through. Oh, hang on a sec. I haven't got my plates lined up correctly. There we go. Try again. That's better. So it's a good idea to stagger your plates a little bit on your die cutting machine. It helps them to feed through the rollers. Oh, sorry, Cindy. I'll just go back to my my comments there. I missed what the piece is cut out, the mesh looking one. Oh yeah, it's just vellum. It's vellum cardstock. So yeah, that's what that one is. Hi Rose, how are you? Great to have you here. Oh, Amber replied to you already, Cindy. I just saw that. Thank you, Amber. I forgot to mention that Amber is my assistant and also my daughter, and she is here in the comments. So if I miss any comments, she's here to catch those for me and be able to answer those questions for you. So if you see Amber's name in the comments, that's who Amber is. All right, so I'm going to cut that extra one as well. So let's just take these ones off here. Just very gently with these ones because they are a little bit delicate, especially that big one. I'll just pop that over to the side. Clean any of the little extra pieces off your plates before you run them through again, because they can inhibit the cutting of your next piece. Okay, so make sure you've got nice clean plates. That's our little one. We don't need that. We're just cutting 1 more of the large snowflakes. So we'll just run that back through again. There we go. Okay. Now that time, that one came out with the die, so we'll remove that. Okay, actually I'm going to fold this up this time and pop that out of the way. So I had my plates in there before and it kind of didn't fit as well on my desk in the little space that I have for it to sit with all my other bits and pieces, and when I lifted it out I nearly knocked everything else off the desk, so we don't want to do that. All right, take that out, and I'm just going to grab my trusty take your pick tool. Do you have one of these? Do you have a take your pick tool? This is probably, apart from my trimmer, this is probably my most used tool in my craft room. So if you don't have a take your pick tool, definitely look at getting one of those. They are such a handy tool to have. They have different attachments on them for lots of different uses, and we now have some brand new attachments which I haven't got yet, because when I placed my order, my original new catalogue order, they weren't available yet, but they are now, and there's 3 new attachments that come that you can purchase for the new for the take your pick tool. 3 new attachments for the take your pick tool. Oh, I've got some glue on the end. Let's get rid of that because that's not helpful when I'm trying to poke out bits. Okay, so we'll pop these pieces out. There we go. So there's one big snowflake. Now, if you have the die brush attachment for your take your pick tool, you could use that as well. I just didn't bring mine to the desk today, so we're just using the pokey tool. There we go. So got all those little bits out. Now, if you haven't seen a take your pick tool before, you saw me just using the paper piercing tool, which is also a great tool for poking out all of those little bits from your dies. This attachment actually twists and pulls out and you can turn it around the other way, and then you've got a spatula tool, which is great for picking things up, for separating layers. If you've stuck something wrong or stuck something down crooked, you can lift that up. Great for removing dimensionals. If you've stuck something down with dimensionals and then realized it's stuck in the wrong place or it's crooked. Yeah, so that's a really great tool. So pop that back in. This also comes with a stylus attachment, which I can show you. I have in my beautiful little box here that one of my lovely friends made me. So I've got, you can see I've got lots of putty tool replacements, which is the other end of the take your pick tool. Let me just put the cap on that so I don't stab myself. This is the putty end. As you can see, it just screws straight in there. This is the same end that the die brush also screws into. So the die brush attachment is a separate attachment you can purchase. And you just screw that in. But the putty end is really great for picking up items. It's great for picking up small embellishments, sequins, things like that. Yeah, really, really fantastic. And then we have the Stylus tool as well. And I've got a couple of those because I've got a couple of take your pick tools. So we've got the Stylus tool, and that attachment fits in the same end as this one. So when you purchase the take your pick tool, you get this one, and the putty end, plus you get the cap. They all come with it. The die brush attachment is separate, and now we've got the 3 new ones which come with, and see, this fits in my little box, but I keep it out because I use it all the time. The new one comes with a perforating tool, a different pickup tool, and a cutting blade, a craft blade, which is really awesome. We haven't had a cutting blade before, so I'm excited to get mine so that I can, and when I get mine, I'll demonstrate that as well so that I can show you how to use those things too. All right, now the other thing we're going to do before we adhere anything is to do the embossing. Okay, so we've got all our die cut pieces, we've got everything else ready to go. I'll pop those to the side, and we will bring our scrap paper back in, or our grid paper back in, and we're going to do a little bit of embossing. Oh, you know what we could do while we're waiting? Oh no, I'll do that bit later. No, I'll do it now. I'm going to put some Wink of Stella on my snowflakes. So I'll just give our Wink of Stella brush a shake up. It has a little ball bearing inside with the glitter and the solution. So you need to mix that up first. I always like to give a little gentle squeeze and a test on the paper first, just to get that the glitter flowing, because it is in a liquid solution. There we go. And then we're just going to paint that over our little snowflakes to give them a little bit of sparkle. Now if you squeeze the barrel just a couple of times to get that flowing, then just give it a chance to flow down. Don't keep squeezing that barrel, because what will happen is it'll then flow out really, really quickly, and you'll get a big blob of glitter, and you don't want that. You want it to be nice and smooth. You might just need to, every so often, just give it another couple of squeezes on that barrel. It's really soft plastic that you can squeeze there. And we're just going to color those. Oh, Cindy says she owns the Pick Your tool and she uses it all the time. Fantastic. Haven't ordered the additional attachments yet. Yeah, me too. Yeah, I'm going to put it in my next order. Oh, cute little box. You like that little box? It's a great idea, isn't it? It's a lovely little box to store your take your pick tool and all the attachments in. Yeah, I've got a couple of different ones that friends have made me, and that's the most recent one, so that's the one that I'm using at the moment. And I love that pretty DSP as well. That's a retired DSP that box was made with, but it was a really pretty one. So just giving, now this probably is a little bit difficult to see on camera, the sparkle that this gives, but in person, it just gives that beautiful glimmer to your project or to your little snowflakes. If you had glimmer paper, you could die cut these out of glimmer paper instead of just plain cardstock and then Wink of Stella over the top. Yeah, you could certainly do that. There we go. All right. So we will set those aside to dry, and I do have another piece of grid paper. So I'll set those aside over there to dry, and we'll bring this one in here. Now what I'm going to do is, there's a couple of different things you can do. You can create a splatter on here with some of your other inks. You could do it with a brush and some Versamark refill. You could use the Whisper White ink. You could do all different sorts of things, but I'm going to use the stamp set because we've got these beautiful additional pieces here. You've even got the little stamp here too. So we might even use, let's see, what's the size of the stamp? Okay, so the stamp is quite large. So I think I'm just going to use the little splatter there, and we're going to stamp that in the background. But if you wanted to, you could stamp that, the snowflake stamp in the background as well. We're going to do a little bit of embossing with that. But we're going to use I'm using this one here. Yeah. Okay, so let's grab another block. I'm running short on blocks today because we have been creating for an upcoming class that I have, and also creating for a couple of other projects that we've got on the hop. And so all of my blocks are in use at the moment, just about all of them. All right, so we are just going to use some Versamark ink, and I'm going to stamp this splatter just randomly. We're going to just turn it around so that we're stamping it in different directions. And I don't want to stamp the whole lot of the paper. I just want to have it in different places. There we go. So I think that will be good. We'll ink that up. We'll emboss that up with our embossing powder. I'll just grab my tray, and then we'll see if we need to add any extra. We can add some extra. All right, so Stampin' Up now has the Embossing Additions Toolkit. It comes with the tray. It comes with the embossing buddy, which I forgot to use again. I always forget to use my embossing buddy. Where is it? I've put it away, that's why. It comes with an embossing buddy. It comes with the tweezers, which I'm just finding. Oops, and they're dirty because they've got glue on them. Tweezers. And it comes with a brush as well, which is here. So these are the items that come together with the tray. It's called the Embossing Additions Toolkit, and it's really great if you like to do heat embossing. Now I've got to get the embossing powder onto the Versamark before that dries, and here I am chatting away, and hopefully my ink didn't dry too quickly. Yes, I should have rubbed my embossing buddy over that paper first, but because I kind of want a splatter effect anyway, it doesn't matter too much. All right, there we go. And we'll just give that a little bit of a tap to remove that excess. If you get any additional granules that you don't want, you can just brush them off. And actually, if you look at that now that I've put the embossing powder on, even though I turned that stamp pad around, I've ended up with almost 2 lines of embossing, haven't I? It's ended up not very random at all, but that's okay because we're going to be covering some of that up anyway. So it will look random once we finish the project, so that's all right. Okay, and then we need to tip the remainder of that embossing powder back into the container So just use your brush to sweep that down, because it is plastic, so it, you know, gets a bit of static. The embossing powder wants to stick to it, so just use your brush. And as I always say, when you are changing between colors, so if you were using white or clear, that's okay, you can use them one after the other, but you know, definitely tip out the excess back into the container first. Let me unscrew this with the other hand. But if you were changing between this, the lighter colors, or the white and the black, or the white and the metallics, you have to make sure that you clean your tray out completely so that you don't get any of those dark colors contaminating your white or your clear, because I have done that and I've ended up with bits of dark color through my white embossing powder, and it's not desirable. So just be sure that you give it a good clean, either a wash out at the sink and then a good dry with a piece of paper towel or a tea towel, or use some, if you can't get to the sink, then just use some baby wipes or something like, or a damp cloth to just give it a really good wipe out. Remember to clean the cap and the thread as well. Okay. All right. Now I'll leave my tweezers out because we'll use those. I've got my Stampin' Up heat tool here. I'm just going to put this in, let's go this corner, in my tweezers so that I don't burn myself. And I've got my Stampin' Up heat tool here. We're going to use the setting number 2. You do have 2 settings. Number 1 is great for if you are drying things, such as drying ink, or if you've done watercoloring and you need that to dry quickly, you can dry that with your number 1 setting. Number 2 setting is the one that we want to use for heat embossing. So I'm just going to heat that up for a moment. Let that get a little bit warm before we start heating, so that we're not holding the heat tool for too long on our paper. All right. So you'll see as that starts to melt, it'll become white and glossy. And once you see that become white and glossy, that's when you want to start moving your heat tool. Okay, you don't want to hold it too long in the one spot because you don't want to burn your paper. And if you overheat your embossing powder, it'll become flat and dull, and you'll lose that white, that bright white color. So it doesn't need too long. And I think we're done. And then I always just like to have a little check. Just be careful, your paper might be hot. I like to have a good check under the light just to make sure that has all melted properly, and that looks pretty good. There we go. Now, if you get a little bit of curling of your paper, you can flip it over and heat gently. We'll just use the number 1 setting. Heat gently on the reverse side, but we don't want to overcook that embossing powder. So just be really careful about that. Now, if it stays curly a little bit, I'm not too worried this time because I'm going to be putting adhesive around all 4 sides, so that'll hold that down flat. Okay. All right. So now we can start putting together our layers. I'll bring in all of our other pieces. Here we go. Great. All right. So I'm going to grab my stamp and seal. I just refilled this on Monday because as I was using it during my my live creative time on Monday, it ran out. So as soon as I finished filming, I had to fill it back up. But I love using this. It's nice and quick and easy to use. So we're just going to add that onto our card. So this is just a really easy layout to create, and then you can decorate the front up as you like. So we just, whoops, I've got that a little bit crooked. And because I haven't used, well, that'll be okay. Because I haven't used multi-purpose liquid glue, I can't slide it around really easily. So the multi-purpose liquid glue is great for if you think that you might need to reposition things. I'm going to put one down the middle as well for good measure because it's a little bit kinked with the heat embossing. All right, so try and line this up as best I can because it's a little bit kinked, so makes it a little bit trickier. There we go. All right, just smooth that down to eliminate those kinks in the paper. There we go. So it's nice and flat now. All right, now these two pieces are going to be layered together like that. All right, so I'm going to put a little bit of Stampin' Seal just in the center of that piece, not right to the end. We're going to layer those two up. This one's a little bit shorter, I think, than my original, or maybe I trimmed it a little bit too. I probably trimmed it a bit more than my original one. All right. Okay, now we are going to use a little bit of multi-purpose liquid glue to adhere this one down. And then we're going to slide our snowflakes in around this. So that's going to go there, that's going to go there. And let's see if I turn this over and show you on the back side where it's darker. So this lattice piece, I've got embossing powder everywhere too. Look, it's all sitting on the back of my card. I'll just brush that off on the floor. Rose said, I'm just wondering, how is everyone's reception? My sound is up and down and my picture is not totally clear. Oh, okay. How is everybody else? How is it for everybody else? Is the sound... I have been having a little bit of trouble with the sound on YouTube. So that has been something that has been happening. Oh, yours is good your end, Rose? Okay. Sorry, Cindy. Yours is all good your end, Cindy. Okay. Oh, good. Well, that's good to know. I'm watching a playback on two devices. The playback that I'm watching looks clear. It does depend on what you're watching it on too, Rose. The larger the screen, the more pixelated it becomes with YouTube. So if you're watching on a smaller screen like an iPad, then it could be, oh, you've got bad weather there too. It could be that too. Yeah, that's possible. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, hopefully it's okay. I'll check the replay though, just to see how the quality is, just to be sure. All right, so what I was going to say is with the lattice, you have, when you look at it like this, when you die cut it, oh, you're on your phone, Rose. Oh, okay. There we go. So it's more sort of straight across that end, and then it's more sort of rounded kind of at that end. It doesn't really matter which way you place it, but I am going to put the more straightish end at the top. Okay, doesn't really matter which way you do it, but that's kind of just how I'm going to have it. All right, and I'm going to put it at a bit of an angle like that. Now we're going to put some glue on the lattice, but because it's got all the holes, the glue can come through and be a little bit sticky. So you want to make sure you're only putting glue where it's going to be covered up by your sentiment label. Now the sentiment label is going to go over here. So let's just move this down a little bit down here. Okay, so sentiment label is going to go down here. So we just kind of want glue just under that portion there. All right, that's where that's going to hold down. So what I think I'm going to do to make it easier is I'll work out where I want to have this, and that is where I'm going to put the glue, is just under here. Just going to put a bit of glue under here. If I can get my glue running, I'll put my finger there as a pointer spot, and I'm just going to put a bit of glue there. Okay, and then we'll pop the lattice down like that. Let's go down a little bit lower. Okay, so we'll just smear that on, but we want to make sure that that's going to be covered up with the label. All right, so I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back of this one. So let's grab those. Okay, so the sound is fluctuating as I keep moving. Oh, probably too, because I am moving around a little bit. Perhaps as you move closer and further away from the mark. Yes, probably, because as I'm moving and reaching for things and things like that, I am moving. I'm not staying in the one spot. So I apologize. I'll try and stay more still. But the picture is all good. Oh, that's good to know. All right, so I'm going to put 5 dimensionals on there. I'll remove the paper backing from those. There we go. And we're going to line up our sentiment so that the edge of our sentiment is along the edge of our Night of Navy piece of designer series paper. Okay, and we want to cover up that glue where we're holding down the vellum piece. Okay, so there we go. So we'll pop that there like that. All right, now those dimensionals will also help to hold that vellum piece on, the vellum lattice. Okay, all right, and now we've got our snowflakes to add, and these should have dried. Yep, the Wink of Stella dries pretty quickly. So we're going to slip one in under here. So we'll use a little bit of that glue. Now we do have, I'll just grab it out. Hang on one sec. You can choose whether you use the multi-purpose liquid glue or you can use the fine tip glue pen. I might actually use the fine tip glue pen for this because the tip of it is just that bit finer. And just clean that tip off. There we go. It is a little bit finer, and these snowflakes are quite thin. I'll just make sure I get that flowing first. There we go. Okay, so we'll just add some. I'm just going to add it down the long pieces, right where I've got my finger, and around that centerpiece there. Okay, and then we can just slip that in under here. There, like that. Okay, and then we'll do our other large one. You notice that I'm doing the glue over the paper, not over my project. Just as a little tip, if you are adding glue to anything, any additional pieces that you're adding, don't hold them over your project. I've made that mistake myself and then ended up with glue dripping down onto my project, and yeah, you end up with glue in places where you don't want it. So just be careful about that. There we go. All right, and we're going to add our other large snowflake up here. Let's put it over this way a little bit, going over that little flurry of snow there. And then we've got our little one. Got a little bit more space on our little one to add glue. So we've got this detail here in the center. There we go, and we're going to add the little one just down over here, like so, just under the edge. So each one of them is just going under the edge of that lattice. Make sure you cap your fine tip glue pen pretty quickly because it does dry really quickly, this glue, and because you've got such a fine tip, it can dry up in there really quickly. And I'm having trouble getting my needle in the end. I hope that's not drying up already. I haven't got my glasses on actually, so it's, there we go, got it. Give it a little jiggle and do that up nice and tight. Oops. Just press that down a little bit more. Just press each one of those down. Make sure that glue caught. Oh, that one might need a bit more glue, does it? There we go. Okay, good. All right, and now we have got, so pop that away. We've got to add some embellishments, and we've got a few different ones here to add, that we can add. Of course, our rhinestones, they go with everything. So they're great to use. We've got our classic matte dots in the 3 colors. We've got white ones up under the label there. We've got, what are these ones called? I forget. The Enamel Dot Essentials. But I'm actually liking the Iridescent Pearl Basic Jewels because they are shiny and I think they will go really well with our project. So let's use some of those. In my original one, I used some sequins. Those sequins that I used, they're not available anymore. They retired. I can't remember which ones they were. We do have new sequins, but I don't have them yet. So I don't, yeah. So I'll use the iridescent pearls because I think they'll go really beautifully. Oh, Cindy said, can use the adhesive sheets between cutting the shapes and turning them. Yes, that would have been a great idea. Why did I not think of that? I always forget to use my adhesive sheets. But yes, if you put adhesive sheets onto your cardstock before die cutting, then you just remove once die cutting, you remove the paper backing and it's just like a sticker then. And then it would stick down and that's really great to use with those intricate dies. So yes, I should have thought to do that. Thank you for that tip, Cindy. Oh, Kate Jane is here from Melbourne. Hi, Kate. Lovely to have you with us. Thank you for joining. All right, so let's add some of these beautiful pearls. We're going to add, I'm going to add these large ones because we want to see those. They are very pretty. There we go. Let's add some small ones as well. We've got all of these to use. Look at that. Let's finish off this row here. Let's add some small ones as well. We'll make it nice and sparkly. Now, if you wanted to as well, let's put one over here. Whoops. If you wanted to as well, you could also do a bit of a splatter on the on this piece as well of the Wink of Stella. You could do a splatter of that on the Wink of Stella. Oh, I've got an extra gem stuck on an extra pearl, I should say, on my finger there. Must have picked that one up by mistake. Let's put that one back there. Yeah, so you could do a splatter on there as well. You know what? We could even still do that. Let's do that because it doesn't matter where that splatter goes. And even if it goes on the sentiment label, it wouldn't matter. Let's do an added little splatter because I love splattering. It's fun. All right, so let's take, I'll grab my, I'm just grabbing a Stampin' Right marker. We're going to do a little bit of splatter with our Wink of Stella. Now you want a fair bit of Wink of Stella at the tip, so just give a little squeeze and then you can tap it that way or you can do it the other way and tap it this way. So you can do either or, and I can see little tiny bits of glitter from the Wink of Stella going onto my project. I'll just give a little bit more of a squeeze to get a bit more of the ink flowing. And that is just giving a little bit of extra sparkle to the background. And the more you squeeze, the more ink you'll get. That'll give you more splatter. Is this my, I'm just checking. Oh yeah, this one has, I was just thinking, is this my empty one or my full one? They're quite light, these. Oh, there we go. And put a little bit over the vellum. There we go. Now, you probably can't see that on camera. I'll hold it up. You probably can't see that splatter on camera, but I can certainly see that in real life. It's given a real sparkle to the background. Let me see if I can direct my lights a little bit closer. See if you can see. Can you see that sparkle at all on camera? It's a little bit hard to see, but it has got that little bit of a sparkle now with that Wink of Stella in the background, which just adds to the project, makes it look a little bit more pretty. Can you catch it there? Not sure if you can see it. There you go. Looking nice and wintry, Amber said. Yes. Yeah, so there we go. So there's the difference between the original one using that retired designer series paper from the previous catalogue and using new designer series paper from the Countryside in pack. So there you go. And so that's just another demonstration of how you can change up an older project. Well, I hadn't actually demonstrated this one, but I had made it a while ago, and just use something different to change it up. So there you go. Kate says, I met Mandy at Onstage in Sydney last year. Ah, there you go. I was lost and didn't know where I was going. Mandy and a few of her team were lovely and showed me where to go. Oh, that's so awesome. I actually can't remember, Kate. I met so many people. I'm so sorry. I can't remember. I'm glad that I was helpful in showing you where you needed to go. So that was good. That day, I have to admit, that day at Onstage is a bit of a blur for me. I was actually in a lot of pain that day with my back. So I was, coping with a lot that day. And that was the first time that a lot of my team members had come along and joined. And I met a lot of people that day too. So, yeah. Oh, Amber said we can see a little bit of it when the light catches it. Oh, good, on that glimmer, yeah. Oh, that's so good, Kate. We'll have to meet up again at the next one next year. And hopefully I'll be having a better day that day and I will be able to chat more. Oh, there we go. All right, so I'm going to tip the camera back up so that I can finish up. So bear with me 2 secs. All right, here we go. We'll do a little flippity flip. There we go. And we'll adjust that one. There we go. Alrighty. Okay. I'm racking my brain now, Kate, trying to remember where exactly in the venue were we when we met? Were we up the back end or down towards the front when we met? I'm racking my brain now trying to remember where we met. I remember I met a couple of people up near the display boards at one stage. Was it there? Because I've got some faces. I'm terrible with names, but I've got some faces in my mind. I'm just wondering if you were one of the ladies that I met up near the display boards up the back. Was it up there or was it down towards the front? I can't remember now. My goodness. And that was only November last year. But yeah, it was a really busy day too. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I feel terrible that I don't remember. We're walking across the bridge to the venue. Oh, so even before we got there. Okay, walking across the bridge. So that would have been coming from the hotels over to the, okay, there we go. Right, now that makes sense. Oh, good. I hope you enjoyed Onstage. It was lots of fun. Although, yeah, as I said, I was, yeah, a lot of it is a blur because, yeah, I just wasn't feeling great that day. But next year, hopefully, will be a lot better. So Onstage this year is going to be a virtual event for those of you that don't know. And then we're moving to in-person Onstage in March next year. And it's going to be a 3-day or a 2.5-day event. 2.5 or 3-day event instead of just a single day, which will be awesome. It'll be so great. So there we go. Anyway, that's our card. And anyway, just mentioning Onstage, I just thought I should say Onstage is, for those of you that may not be familiar with that term, that is a demonstrator only event that we have each year. We missed a couple of years with COVID and we had them online. but we went back in person again November of last year, but now they're changing the cycle of them, so they're going to be moving from next year. They're going to be moving into having them on in March, and there'll be a several day event, which will be awesome. It'll be so cool. So yeah, so if you would like to, oh, can you pick up the shimmer when I do that? So if you would like to come and join one of those demonstrator events, then you can come and join my team, or join with Stampin' Up if you are in another country. If you are in another country and you're looking for a demonstrator and you don't know how to go about finding one, please let me know, because I would love to help you. And I can certainly, I've got contacts in lots of different countries, so I can certainly give you some names as well to look up. So there we go. So there's our beautiful card. So I hope you enjoyed that, using the Season of Chic stamp set and the Chic Dies. So again, let me hold up the one that I made on Monday just to show you the different things. Oh, you loved it. Oh, it was your first time. I met anyone from my team who included my, oh, it was the first time you met anyone from your team who included your team leader. Oh, fantastic. Oh, that's so good. It's a very special event and it's very exciting. So there you go. So this is the one that I made on Monday using the same products. I use different paper, obviously, but using the same stamp set and dies. And in fact, I used that same background to create the same background stamp to create this background. So you can see how different you can make it look. So there you go. So look out for the Season of Chic stamp set. It's beautiful. And there's so much that you can do with it. So you love the card, Cindy? Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. All right. Well, I will let you all go. Thank you so much for joining me today, those that were able to join me live. And for those watching the replay, thank you so much. Be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't done that yet. And when you're down there clicking on the subscribe button, next to it, you'll see a little bell icon. If you click on that little bell icon, then you can choose how you would like to be notified when I upload new videos. And then that way you'll make sure that you never miss out. And also to be sure that you're following me over on Facebook as well, because I go live over on Facebook on Monday afternoons as well. That's Australian Eastern Standard Time. Before I go, let me remind you of a couple of things. I'll just grab my flyers. Stampin' Up has got the paper sale at the moment. It started today, the 1st of June. It runs till the end of June. 15% off selected paper packs. I think there's 13 different paper packs that are reduced by 15%. So grab those, stock up on your beautiful papers, including the Countryside In that we used today. And also too, if you are interested in joining Stampin' Up and getting your beautiful crafting products at a 20% discount, Stampin' Up has got an amazing joining offer at the moment. For just $169, you can choose $283 worth of product in your starter kit, plus get free shipping. You get free catalogs. You'll be joining my beautiful team if you're joining here with me. I would love to have you, if you're here in Australia, that is, I would love to have you join with me and my team if you're not already a demonstrator, and or contact your demonstrator that you are working with. If you already have your own demonstrator, contact your demonstrator who you are working with, and join up and take the opportunity of getting $114 worth of free product in your starter kit, and then that ongoing wonderful discount. Alrighty, well, we're coming up on the weekend. It's Thursday today, so one more day and then the weekend. So I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. I hope you get some crafting in there too if you can, and I look forward to seeing you all again really soon. So thank you so much, Rose. I am glad that you like it. It is a great set. Yeah, the Season of Chic. I'll hold that back up again actually for anyone who might have jumped on a little bit late. That's the stamp set there. It is a beautiful stamp set, and there's so much that you can do with that. So I just want to keep playing with it. It's really fun, and I really want to do something with this one too. I haven't played with this stamp in the stamp set yet, so I need to do something with that one too. I just want to keep playing. So that's the thing, isn't it? When we get started, we don't want to stop. Yeah. All right. Well, have a great weekend, everyone. I look forward to seeing you again next week. And as I always say, happy crafting. Okay. Bye.